Hey guys, that's Snake, and this is my E3. This is my E3. My thoughts on E3. Even though I'm mainly gonna be talking about Sony because they the main ones. They really pulled. They really did the most impressive in my own opinion. But Microsoft is definitely a very good second. They really did do something. Then again, they did bring up some things as far as our concerns about the 8.5 generation that's coming up. Basically, it still is a. It's basically what they pretty much confirmed is the fact that it's going to be a more powerful uh, PlayStation 4 and a more powerful Xbox One, which pretty much Sony pretty much confirmed the fact they are making it, but they didn't reveal the specs of it. And then top of it, they didn't reveal E3. Microsoft was to say, fuck it. We're going to ride it off. We're going to ride this bitch out and just say, hey, we're working on a more powerful Xbox. The Xbox that you have, the new Xbox Slim and your OG Xbox One, it's still basically, they all still going to play the same games. It's just the fact that the Project Scorpio going to look way better compared to what we have now. But it's just in the fact that, to me, it's just in the fact that, guess, pretty much the mark of a weird generation, because we are, next year is going to be the launch of the 8.5 generation. And also Nintendo is at a weird point right now because the NX is pretty much supposed to be their ninth gen console. But way how Microsoft and Sony is going is more like an 8.5. So Nintendo's going to be at a weird place again with this. But hey, probably they're going to pretty much embrace the fact that they are a 8.5 generation console too. But anyway, onward to the video, and like I say is, I'm gonna talk mainly about Sony, but as I said in the beginning of the video, but I must say that I did enjoy most, and did enjoy some conferences. I don't know what the fuck EA and Ubisoft was doing. I'm glad to see more. I think, in my opinion, I do think that Ubisoft did better than EA, but still though, I would say them two was probably the most weakest conferences I've seen them do. Then again, I didn't see the whole EA's. I only saw when they announced when they were doing the whole Battlefield thing. Then again, I saw some trailers. There wasn't that many games that were pretty much announced. Only thing they showed was some Star Wars stuff, and that was pretty much it. Ubisoft, I don't know what the hell we're doing, but I think that did pretty well. I won't say it's not their best conference because this is their second conference, but then again, it was a very good conference to me. But anyway, yeah, let me talk about the main ones I really want to talk about, which is pretty much Sony's press conference. I gotta say, I'm very impressed as far as presentation-wise and the pacing. Sony knocked it out of the ballpark when it came to basically whatever gamers were talking about. Okay, we didn't want you to go to the fact that you sell this many units. We don't want to hear. We don't want you to be too focused on VR. We don't want you to talk about movies. Basically, nothing that's pretty much video game related or just seem very niche that you shouldn't spend too much time talking about it. And they pretty much basically listened to it, and guess what? They had a very well-paced conference. I say, as far as the pacing of the conference, this was a better-paced conference I've ever. How the hell are you going to invite me to a chat and I'm recording something and you see me on fucking SHAREfactory? I'm sorry, guys. I'm not going to even go to edit this out because I want the motherfucker to hear the fact that it don't make no sense to the fact that I'm on SHAREfactory. You see me on SHAREfactory and I'm recording something. I'm sorry, I had to do my little rant. I'm just saying, you see me on SHAREfactory and you obviously should know I'm recording something. But anyway, hopefully the asshole hear this fucking video. Shit. Anyway, onward. I lost my train of thought now, but fuck it, we're doing it live. But yeah, Sony conference was the better paced conference. Only thing they kept showing was this game. They talked about VR just for like a little bit. They didn't spend too much time with VR. They had the right time with VR. They announced the fact that VR is going to be launching in October 13th, and They showed off a few games, and they were not bad. They were not. They're not to the point. I'm like, oh, come on, move on. But I'm like, oh, I'm kind of interested to try some of these games out. Um, and you know, wait a minute. Let me actually talk about the beginning of the conference. The orchestra. I'll think to myself like, Sony, what the fuck y'all got planned? I'll think to myself, what the fuck y'all got planned? I would say this not. I would say this is not their best conference, and to me, as far as the game announcements. But it's because you know Shenmue and you know last year to me really just made me actually fucking cry, pretty much. But as I said, as far as pacing, basically the Dream Conference that we were telling people these game developers, well these game publishers, pretty much that we were telling the main guy, you know, main people like you know, Sony and Microsoft, hey, we want a straightforward conference just about games, and Sony they pretty much delivered on that. Okay, now let me talk about the beginning of the conference. The orchestra. I'm thinking so Sony have like some type of big ego right now, and I'm like, and at the same time I'm thinking like, what the fuck are they going to unveil? They show off God of War 4, which I think to myself, okay, cool, they show off God of War 4, even though I think to myself, I'm like, okay, it's gonna play like God of War. Then they actually show gameplay. I'm like, oh shit. I'm not. Then I'm watching this. You know, Kratos is back. He is in a different mythology, and it's Norse mythology. Pretty much, I think it was you know pretty much the Viking, like pretty much like very Viking like. I don't know too much about Norse mythology, but then again, I'm very interested to read and find out more about this mythology. I know of it, but don't know too much about it, so I'm going to really read up on this. But pretty much to sum it up, because I'm not going to go in full depth detail on how I really felt, how I feel about this game. But all I gotta say is it feels very refreshing to me. Cause I'm not gonna lie, I got kind of bored of the old how God of War was made multiple times. Basically, to me, God of War from 3 all the way to Ascension was pretty much, you know, I enjoy those games. But I gotta say this, to me, God of War felt, probably gameplay wise, felt like it was getting very stale. So I'm very glad they went this new direction. It's still very God of War. You know, you're still gonna be fighting deities. You're still gonna be fighting, you know, these weird beast type things. It's just the fact that it's done in a more different style, which I'm very I'm very okay with. It seems like it's gonna be more open, and we're gonna bar some heavy RPG elements into it. So anyway, yeah. Okay, moving forward. I don't remember too much. I wish I could have wrote it down, but I'm just gonna talk about the stuff that I remember. Oh yeah, Days Gone. Days Gone. I'm very glad that Sony Ben is actually making a home console game, even though I'm kind of fed up with the whole post-apocalyptic world thing. But I'm gonna give this one a chance, because that doesn't mean just because I'm fed up with it does not mean that the fact that, you know, I still may enjoy this game or may change my mind on post-apocalyptic worlds. But you know, Sony Ben, you know, came out, you know, saw a trailer and of this new game, and I'm so glad, because they were one of my favorite developers that needed to come back on home consoles, which I'm very glad they are taking that step to make a game on home consoles again as a new IP. The game looks very good. It looks very interesting, and I will be definitely looking forward to it, because just as a Sony Ben fan, I was there since the days of Aside the Filter. So I'm just so glad to see them back on the home console, back on making home console games, you know, and it's a very strong welcome. Okay, now I'm trying to really go for it. I'm trying to really remember as much as I can. I wish I could have wrote some of this shit down. Oh, let me get to the point. Ooh, okay, let me get to the one of the best yet worst parts. When one of the guys want to see, I think he's the new president now of Sony, of the PlayStation division. He came out. They played the Crash Bandicoot theme. the stage was like very Crash Bandicoot. Like you saw him, you saw like a shadow of Crash Bandicoot, him walking, matching the shadow of Crash Bandicoot walking on stage. Like, what the fuck are you doing, Sony? I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And then they announced Crash Bandicoot is gonna be remastered from the ground up. Pretty much, they might as well call it a fucking remake. Pretty much, since it's gonna be built from the fucking ground up. But yeah, they doing that with 1, 2, and 3, and it's gonna be completely remade from the ground up. It's still gonna be multi-platform, but Sony is gonna get it first. I really don't care about the whole exclusive thing. But I'm very glad that we get a chance to see Crash make his return back on. He's back. I'm glad to see Crash back. Now the worst part of this, that was the best part, but the worst part of it, they didn't really give us too much time to actually gloat about it. But just gloat about the fact that they are remastering, quote unquote, remaking the Crash Bandicoot games. Crash Bandicoot is a fucking character in Skylanders, which I'm like, come on, Sony, come on now, y'all could have just say, yeah, why had to do that? Y'all let us celebrate for a short-lived time, like. Okay, yeah, so I'm more looking forward to the fact they're remaking Crash from the ground up, but I'm not so excited about the fact that he's gonna be in Skylanders. I guess it's probably a good game, but just the practice behind it is bullshit. It's worse than it worse than actual fucking DLC. It's worse than that. Yeah. Okay, what else? What else? They talk about a whole lot of stuff. Oh, Kojima. Oh lord. No, before I even talk about Kojima, Resident Evil 7 is back, and they're going back to their roots, which I'm so glad they are. I played the demo today. I won't say it's better than PT. To me, it's not better than PT because PT. Just like watching, I was scared when this game only had a few jump scares with this game, but I'm just glad the fact that they're back, focusing on on the horror aspect of Resident Evil, which they should be, and everybody's happy with the results. So basically, they're on the right track with Resident Evil again. Okay, what else? Oh yeah, Hideo Kojima. His entrance was fucking boss. Even though I'm like, okay, you really wrote the shit in, Kojima, to the fact that is that. I was like, it was the intro was boss as hell. I'm like, well, was it really necessary though? but one thing that actually shocked me is the simple fact that I said this in my video, my last video talking about Kojima Productions. I talked about the fact that I want him to at least talk about something, what the idea of the game is about. But we got more than that. He didn't talk about it. He actually showed what the premise of the game, the concept of the game. It may not come out for a while, but I'm just glad that the fact that he at least shared something with like a good idea, the idea of the game. And like I said, the game is very Hideo Kojima. It's very Hideo Kojima. It's weird and it's interesting. And I'm just so glad the fact he worked on something new. There is some things that you could basically there is some symbolism to Metal Gear, to his Metal Gear games, because Norman Reedus, he's back, he's playing the main character, but he had like this cross-like scar on his stomach, and the only thing that came to mind with me was the boss's snake type scar around her body. But yeah, I was very basically. I don't think I'm gonna have enough time to actually really talk about everything that I can remember. But only thing I gotta say is Sony, y'all did very well. For those that's negative, this keeps saying like God of War, Man, Last of Us, Days Even, Man, Last of Us. I think those are y'all just trying to nitpick, because if I had to really, I'm not even gonna get on them. Only thing I gotta say, look. Sony, y'all did your thing. Y'all did very great. Y'all had the best conference of this year again. I'm really looking forward to I'm really looking forward to the games that's coming out. A good 90% of them, I'm like, yeah, I want to play it. But hey, but let's go. I'm about to cut the video off. I'll catch you next video, and I'm gonna make some video after this.